Welcome back, everyone. The last time we had a visit from April Lufriu, she was enjoying her reign as Mrs. America, and she was getting ready to go to Orlando for the Mrs. World pageant. Well, she went, and she won. April Lufriu, Mrs. World 2012, joins us now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Yay.
How different was the competition going from Mrs. America to Mrs. World?
It was actually fabulous. I got a chance to meet all these international girls, and there were some language barriers, so I was able to brush up on my little bit of Spanish that I know, but just a great, unique way for us to build friendships and foster that, so it was awesome.
How do you get ready for a pageant like that? Obviously, you want to look your very best.
You do, and being raised here in Tampa, Ybor City girl, love my Cuban bread, but I had to push that Cuban bread aside.
Really? But you're naturally pretty small, right?
I am. I'm naturally petite, but you know, you do have to stay lean. So I ate really healthy, and it was a great way to really stay healthy with lean meats, vegetables, fruit, how we should eat every day. And I felt fabulous, but I saw that pie over there. And
you're allowed to have some now.
Yeah,
you can eat all kinds of pie.
Yes.
So tell us, what does this mean for you, being Mrs. World? What kind of agenda do you have to follow now?
My agenda's been crazy so far. Next week I leave for New York, and I'm going to be hosting an event for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. And just wherever anyone wants me to go and speak, that was my whole purpose for even continuing and winning Mrs. World. I was praying and working so hard for it because it actually gives me another year to raise awareness and to speak to audiences everywhere, because the awareness level for the foundation is very low. So this is my mission.
Well, your mission is very personal, because tell us about your children.
Yes, my children were diagnosed in 2010 with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa, and it's a genetic disorder that runs in our family. My sister was diagnosed in 1989, so we were very familiar with the disease, but I just never thought in a million years that my children would be diagnosed. And I was advocating for the Foundation Fighting Blindness since 2007. So for 5 years, I'm working hard and pounding the pavement, asking for help, because we just raise awareness and raise fund for research. But when it hit me dead on, I had a tough time dealing with it, and I had to pick myself up. My husband was wonderful at help me realize that you can live your life with limits, and even though we have our challenges, that's what I need to speak about, and that's why I'm here today.
How many doors has this crown opened for you since you got it?
Tremendous amount. I was on a national television show right before I went to Mrs. World, and I just got word that in March, Women's Magazine is going to be airing one of our PSAs in their magazine, so that national exposure is what this is all about. And I think the whole reason for my winning is my compelling story. I can relate to people with health challenges. There's more to it than a crown and a sash. What can you give back to the public? People need help. People need someone to care. And I think I'm at that level where I can sympathize and empathize with them.
Pageants get a bad rap sometimes.
They do, and I completely want to change that. You know, we're here for a reason, and I mean, I'm just a mom just fighting a battle against time. And I just want to portray that more so than anything else. I'm not just a beauty queen, I'm here on a mission.
Well, speaking of time, how are you going to handle all this? Because you've got such a busy schedule, and you've got young kids, and a husband, and a business. You've got a lot going on.
I do.
How are you doing this?
I have to say, the busier I am, the more I get accomplished. And I was just reading an article about Pam Iorio, our former mayor, and she said the same exact thing. And I go, you know what? I function the same. The more laid back time I have, the less I get done. But my husband and my mom and my mother-in-law, they all really come and pitch in and help me with the kids. So great support system, and that's how it works.
So the major goal for you this year is what?
Just go international. I was doing a lot of major national exposure as Mrs. America, but as Mrs. World, I want to reach beyond that and just spread the word with all the other countries that are out there. There's millions of visually impaired people, and for me to be the voice for them, I feel humbled and honored. And
by being Mrs. World, you're obviously going to be at next year's pageant, because you're going to have to hand over the crown. Do you know yet where that's going to be held?
I think it's Panama. Woo! So I'm excited. Yeah.
I mean, it was great that you got to go to Orlando. You didn't have to go far from home.
I know. At first, when I got word of the location, I was like, darn, I don't get to travel, but it worked out great. The whole family, I had such a big support system. It was fabulous.
Well, April Lufriu, Mrs. World 2012, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thank
And keep
you.
spreading the word.
Yes.
Hey, still to come on Daytime, the latest celebrity scoop from our friends at Extra. We'll be right back.